Hey everybody, it's Rad. Today we're going to be making paper sculpture faces. I have 3 here that hopefully will inspire you to make ones of your own. Alright, let's start with what materials did I use. I used this cardstock. I've got this in a couple different sizes. It's called AC cardstock. You could use any kind of, construction paper that you have at your house. These I like because the colors are really nice. They have a texture on one side. If you tear them, they actually have a white core. And the colors you get, again, are just pretty amazing. So that's what I used for these. All right. So let's start with the fact that last time I made a chart. So I'm going to go through all of these and discuss what techniques I used based on the chart in the face itself. Let's start with the clown. So this funny, maybe creepy clown, what did I do? What did I use? What techniques? All right, so the first thing I did was I did the curls. Now with that, I just took many strips of paper, a pencil, and I wrapped it around very tightly. And then you push it this way and curl it again, and that's how I got that. Now you could put the glue, or in this case I also have double stick tape and scissors, of course, and I could do that wherever I like. I think I'm going to put it on this one going that way. Let me curl again and sneak that in there. Sometimes I even glued them from the back or taped them from the back. All right. Now the eyes. Now the eyes, these are all taped, so I can actually pop them off again. These are double stick taped. What did I do? So this is a flat area here, and for that I actually used a tape. Sometimes you can use a tape to trace the paper, right? And then for this back part here, what you do is you take a piece of paper, a strip, and you start folding it 4 to 5 times. If I'm correct. Open this up. Yeah. You need 5 of them, so that's an extra one. Don't need that. And then you just glue or tape that down. And I could just tear it. It's not going to be seen from the back. And that's a great way to make things pop out, right? So there's that. I did something similar for the nose. And by the way, I used a hole punch for the highlight of the eyes. For this one, I just rolled. I'm going to use tape for this one. You could just, I'm going to tear that. I'm going to put some tape here, then tape there. That way I could just tape that together. And now I have sticky tape here. Put that down and put tape on top. And that's how I did that nose. And notice it's overlapping the eyes a bit. Now, there's another technique I didn't discuss last time, which I'm going to show you now. It's called an arch. So basically, remember, you use tabs. They look like little feet. So you're going to use tabs to do this. Now, I did something similar with the mouth area here. Make it look like the white lip makeup of the clown. So I cut out a shape, in this case the mouth opening, and then I did the opening inside of it. And it's sort of like an arch because I just glued it like this, basically, right? See that there's some glue back there and back there. Now for the tongue, watch this. For the tongue, what I did was I took a strip of paper and then I rolled it one way, going this way, stop in the center, let it go. And then I do it the other way. I did the same thing with the tiger. You'll see that later. And that makes like an S shape, see? And that's how I did that. And then I pushed this down, made a little tab right there, and glued that in for the tongue. That's the technique. Now, you always want to start with paper, by the way. When you start this, cut your paper really big, overly big, because you never know how big you need to make these shapes to put on it, right? You want to make some big shapes on this. So always go bigger. If you want to cut it down later, you can. Like, I think this chin's a bit much. And I think I'm going to do the convex technique of cutting there, gluing just one side of it, and then popping it in like that. And if I still think it's too big, I actually do think it's too big, I'm going to take off a little bit here. But adding paper onto there, when you've made your shape too small, doesn't always work. All right, let me just cut this down a bit. And there you go. So that's the clown, and those are the techniques used for that one. Let's move on to another one. Probably the most simplest one of all is the robot. So for the robot, I didn't even cut a piece here to make this concave or convex, but I did cut here, and I cut here on the, lack of a better term, ear area to make this stand out. So if you hold it like this, then now this part is catching light and this part has got a shadow, and that gives it some dimension. The goal for these projects, by the way, as you can see between the two of them, is to make most everything three-dimensional and popping out. The only thing of these two that it's not popping out, I would say, is this. This is flat. There's nothing going on here. And maybe the eye areas. The eyeballs, I could have made them pop out even further. So if you look at this again, what did I do? Well, it's that same technique we discussed before, which is sort of like doing this one here, see? And put that in. And for this one, this is sort of like this box technique, right? Where it's got a thin area here and wider in the front. I can make it crooked, whatever you want. So that's the robot. Now let's discuss the tiger. So there's a lot going on with this one, right? The first thing I want to talk about again is the shape. Now I could have added the ears later, but I didn't. Oh, and take a look at this. If you could see this, there's some sketch lines there. So on the back of the paper, I just sketched out a shape. And again, when you're using this paper, you want to use and get to the edge as much as up to the edge as you can when you do your sketches. You could always trim it down later, like I did the clown. All right. So I cut this out, and then I snipped in here to make this concave shape, sort of like this, right? Where all you have to do is take any shape, cut it in the middle, like I did the clown's chin, and just move it over like that. 3D shape instantly. So I did that for the ears, and I also did that for the chin here. Can you see that? So that already gives it some dimension. Sometimes I like to do things where like I take the whole shape in already from the very beginning, kind of bend the paper around so it already has the three-dimensional shape. But in this instance, I just did the chin and the ears. Now, how did I do this? Well, as you probably could figure out, again, that's another version of the arch, right? There is a tab back here. I could take it off so you could see it. See? There's a giant tab back there, and instead of just making it very flat, I wanted some purpose to it, that it could be rounded here and pop out. I did similar thing with the eyes, although check this. With the eyes, I have a very short accordion. See? That accordion shape? A very short one. And I put them at an angle, put some tape on either side of here, and there you have it. And this is nice because it's many layered. So it's 1, 2, 3, and 4 layers of paper, which gives it more interest. The only thing about this that's not three-dimensional, by the way, are these stripes. Now, I even made the nose popping out. What did I do? It's a cylinder, sort of like the one I did before with the nose here, the clown. but I kind of squashed it a bit, see? So it wasn't so popping out. And then down here, I did the same. It's a very squashed cylinder. This is a cylinder. Now the tongue was done the same way that I did the other one. I just curled it one way, then curled it the other way with a pencil, and just popped that in. Actually, looks like I popped it in a little bit more like that. The last thing I could talk about is this here. This is basically like some of the hairs in the ears. It's got a little tab. And these little sections here of the hair, to represent hair, I just curved a little bit. And that's it. Usually, when I do these shapes back here, I do them with the same color as the background so they don't stand out as much from the sides. If you wanted to make this into a mask, you actually could. There are ways of cutting into here and here, and also making maybe a cut here so you could see through it. So there you have it. I hope these inspired you to make your own designs using the techniques that were used before. All right, everybody, it's your turn. I've got 2 words for you. Get cracking.